What's up, everybody? This is Will from the Fight Gods podcast. I'm here with cousin Nico, chilling. Nico, what's going on today, man?
Cooling, man. It's been a beautiful day out here in Rhode Island, actually, man. It cracked like 70 degrees out here. Yeah, man. It was nice out today, man. Spent some time outside in the yard with the boy, did a little driving around. It was nice, man. Nice. How you doing today?
Man, it was a shitty day here, bro. it was like in the 50s. It was raining.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
My neck and shoulder are bothering me. Like, the weather was horrible, bro. I'm kind of jealous right now.
Whenever, like, you're in the East Coast up north and shit, you just think anybody further south just has nicer weather than you.
Yeah, you think that. You would think that, but yeah. Man, it kind of sucks, bro. But it's all good, man. We got some awesome fights coming up this weekend.
Oh, hell yeah, we do.
All kinds of stuff going on. In the news today, Rumble Johnson got arrested for identity theft. And come to find out, it's from 2019.
I was so shocked when you told me that, man.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world?
I still don't understand, but I'm sure it's bullshit, man. It has to be.
Man, I don't even know, bro. I mean, because there's the police report is out there and everything, so there's got to
it's Anthony Johnson. Why does he have to steal somebody's identity or use their card without their permission? Like, it's Anthony Johnson. Come on, man.
I mean, I think that he probably, in my opinion, he probably met a girl or something like that, got shacked up, asked her to buy him an airline ticket, and then the whole story. They stopped talking, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
She probably turned him, and that's what the first thing that came to my mind when I saw what the charges were. That's what I was.
Oh thinking. Man, I hope not, man. Don't put that juju on that man.
That's what I was. I mean, it could be anything, but that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Don't get caught up like that, brother. Don't do it to yourself.
I hope not, man. But so what else is going on with you, man? You seen anything good lately? Hey, you know what we didn't discuss, and I didn't even get a chance to watch it yet, but how was the fight from last week with the heavyweight champ, the one that knocked out Joshua and then lost? It was in a dude's name. So that's what Paul says. And then he said, unless. What's the guy's name who knocked out Anthony Joshua, Nico? Kind of a big dude, and then he lost the weight.
No,
but he fought last
Ruiz.
He fought last week. Did you see that?
I didn't watch Andy Ruiz fight last week, but I heard he won.
Yeah, I heard he won too. I was just gonna see if you had seen that fight.
I didn't get to watch that. No.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get to watch it yet. He beat Chris Arreola, but I heard it was a real good fight. He won a unanimous decision. But yeah, we didn't touch on that the other day, so I just wanted to make sure that we Ruiz, exactly, Andy Ruiz. Everybody's chiming in now. Look, I had a brain fog, man. You guys are all over here chiming in now, making me feel dumb. But so that that's in the news as far as Anthony Johnson. Like I said, we missed the Ruiz card, but also, man, this whole Diego saga. Let's go ahead and jump into that right now, just because it's all over the news. Like, what the hell is going on with this guy? His manager is a nut, man.
I don't know if this video was out during last episode, but did I send it to you with him hanging Diego upside down on the chain and smacking him in the head and kicking his body?
What in the world?
That is a wild man.
Yep.
He's a wild man, dude.
You're right.
He got my boy Diego in the Spider-Man pose.
For real. I was thinking it was more like the Lost Boys, the vampires sleeping upside down. I was like, what in the world is this dude doing? But yeah, man. And then, come to find out, the UFC really tried to do right by Diego, as far as I'm concerned, because they gave him all of his fight pay.
All of it.
Everything. He ended up with like $220,000. I mean, that's pretty damn fair of them. But Diego's out this week saying that there are assassins looking for him. Have you heard about that, Nico?
Nah, I haven't heard this one.
He's saying for the next
assassins
2 years,
hired by the UFC?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And the best comment I saw about this is
probably Valentina Shevchenko.
It could be. The best comment I saw online about, I'm not going to take credit, even though I could. I'm going to go ahead and give credit where it's due. Some dude in one of the forums, I don't know his name, but that's as much credit as he get. He said, the UFC couldn't even put together Tony versus Khabib, but they think that he's putting out a hit on Diego. I thought that was pretty damn funny.
Absolutely.
But, man, I don't know. This whole thing with Diego keeps getting more and more strange by the day.
Absolutely.
And he's saying that he's going to, for the next 2 years, he's scared to drive because he's afraid that there's a hit out on him. And, like, he's only eating certain foods because he's afraid that they might be trying to poison him. Like, there's a whole podcast about it he did with Anthony Smith, the UFC fighter. And I don't know, man. This stuff is getting kind of wild, man. It's getting very strange, very weird.
Do you think that he's playing it up at this point? Or do you really believe that Diego is like this? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because we've seen some characters in our day like Jason Mayhem Miller, Yep. Sometimes they just do this shit for attention and the clout. Like, they see the attention they're getting, so they just dive into it deeper. And that's what I'm trying to pinpoint with Diego. Is he really this like off the rocker?
I don't think so, man. Well, yeah, no, I think he's off the rocker. I don't think he's doing this for attention at all. I just think that I think he's got some problems. He also said this week, I don't know if you saw this, but he said that he is going to be doing some kind of CTE brain testing, funded by the UFC sometime soon. Yeah, Tim, all the concussions is definitely getting to him. He's always been crazy, but after so many wars, absolutely. I remember on The Ultimate Fighter, he was the first Ultimate Fighter champion. But I remember on The Ultimate Fighter, he cut all the heads of asparagus off of Stephen Bonner's asparagus. He cut all the heads off and used it in his drink, and then played dumb with Stephen Bonner. He was like, I don't even know what it is, man. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know it was yours. And now look at them. They're besties. So, but, I just remember him being very strange the whole time, with the whole yes movement. And, because at one point I think he was following Tim Robbins. Is that his name? Whatever the Robbins guy, Anthony Robbins, I think it is. The self-help guy. And then he started doing the yes movement and everything, and just very strange.
Tony.
Very strange.
No. Is it Tony?
I think Tony, yeah. Tony Robbins, yeah, exactly. There you go. So, yeah, I don't know what's up with Diego. I don't think any MMA companies that are reputable will touch this guy going forward. Like you said, bare knuckle boxing, I could totally see it. I could even tell you that BKFC would probably book him to come in and fight Thiago Alves, only as two legends from the UFC.
I could see that.
Yeah, if Leonard Garcia was still over there, he'd probably fight him. What is Tim talking about? What's your thoughts on Conscuss? What is that? You know what that is, Nico?
I have no clue.
Oh yeah, Tim, clarify a little bit, man, and we'll get to that, bro, for sure. But yeah, man, there's just so much going on. Oh, concussions in the sport. Okay, man, they're gonna happen. These guys are getting paid to get punched in the face. I mean, at the end of the day, when you get down to the nitty gritty, boxers, MMA fighters, pro wrestlers, they're getting paid to get punched in the head, punched in the face. The concussions are going to happen, and it's just a part of it. I understand that it's a lot different now than it used to be, and people are starting to understand different things. I think we've all known for a long time that a concussion isn't anything that's good, you know. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. If you choose you're going to fight and you want that as your profession, or even not your profession, but you want to be a weekend warrior, it's something you've got to deal with. I mean, you know, in pro wrestling, I got 2 concussions that I know of. Probably more, but there were definitely 2 that I'm well aware of. Amateur wrestling, I got 1, and crashing a bicycle, I got 1. So I know of at least 4 that I've gotten over the years. And, you know, I only had 300 pro wrestling matches, which isn't a tremendous amount, but still in that time, you know, I got my bell rung several times. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on it, Nico?
I think it's the name of the game. It's the nature of the beast. It's bound to happen. What's the protocol on it, though, is my question. Like, how long is it mandatory to sit out after they determine that you do have a concussion?
I think what it is no contact for probably 90 days and no fights for 180 days, something like that. So, you know, that's half a year, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, like, so long as there's a protocol to it and you're following that protocol to the T, then, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast, and it's what you kind of got to deal with.
Right. And, you know, a lot of fighters have said that during the pandemic that they were able to really heal up. And brain injuries are something that do heal. I mean, you're never going to get brain cells back that were, you know, destroyed and all this other kind of stuff. But for mental health, I'm sure that it was good for a lot of these fighters not to get hit in the head for a while. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So the pandemic was a horrible thing. Don't get me wrong. But there are some good things that came out of it, in my opinion. And that's one of them, that a lot of these fighters were able to really, just start feeling better, start rehabbing injuries, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's one of the best things for the sport that did happen as far as the pandemic goes. But mental health, we could stay on that. Have you seen all the stuff about Conor this week?
What's up with Conor?
He says that Dustin Poirier has awakened a beast inside of him.
Okay.
And that a higher power is going to be his corner man for this fight.
No, don't do that.
Oh, I'm just telling you what happened. Go ahead.
No, Conor. I'm talking to Conor directly. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm telling people, man, you can't bring the Lord into this shit. All right? Like, you can't bring him into the problem that you created for yourself.
Honestly, I don't even know.
Because now when you go out there and you get starched out there, if you do get starched, God forbid, now we got to look at the higher power. Who's your corner man? Who failed you? This is God's performance now. Nah, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
I will say that I don't know if he was actually talking about God as the higher power.
Who's this higher power?
I have no idea. But Conor's kind of a strange dude, and I got a feeling that he might not even been talking about God.
He's just talking about it's like what
that out there.
What would an Irishman be speaking about as his higher power? It's like a shillelagh. It's like a shillelagh.
I think probably the main religion in Ireland is probably Catholic. I think. But yeah, I'm not sure.
That's funny though, man.
Yeah. Roman Catholic is there.
Look, you either got it or you don't on that night, man.
Right.
Nothing else that you could tell me is gonna make me believe, oh man, hey, he's getting spiritual now. He's a different beast. Nah, man. You either got it or you don't.
Yep. Tim says Propa 12 is gonna be his corner man.
That's his nah, you better not, bro. But he does look good. He looks like he's doing his sprints. He looks like he's taking into consideration the cardio critiques that are made about him. I'm sure he's coming with a game plan to check the kicks and change up that stance a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see whose game plan can be implemented better on that night.
Yep. I mean, that's absolutely true. I just think it's weird that he went there. I'll go ahead and read the quote, and it was July 10th. I will do this absolutely flawless. We have these clowns sussed and fully. They want to play a game of tactics, no problem. See you in there. You've awoken a beast with the backing of a much higher power. Say your prayers. So, hey, maybe he is talking about God. I don't even know.
Say your prayers.
Yeah, that's the last thing he said. Eat your vitamins. No, he didn't say that part, but
yeah, come on, Hulkster. Now let me tell you something, brother.
I just think it's kind of funny that Connor called Dustin Poirier at least, and probably his team sus.
Yeah, yo,
what was he trying to do, man?
My favorite shit is when he called him a hillbilly, like Owen Wilson did Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
Oh my God, man, what are you doing?
I don't know. I think he just ran out of insults because that just I don't know. Dustin Poirier is a little bit country. Yeah. Poirier's a little bit country, but he's not like some of the people that we've seen fighting.
No.
But so, inbred hillbilly. That's right.
Inbred.
He did call him an inbred hillbilly. That's right.
Exactly.
So let's talk about another move today that was strange to me. Kevin Lee announced that he's going to welterweight, which we've seen some people move up in weight and do pretty well. But I don't know how well he will do there. I will say that him and Michael Chiesa put on an awesome fight at lightweight, and Chiesa's doing great at welterweight. So in MMA math, he may do pretty good. But the guy he called out is your boy, Jersey Mike.
Jersey
Mike in his welterweight debut. Platinum Mike Perry.
Why he want to do my guy like that?
I think probably because he knows Mike Perry can't wrestle very well.
Yeah,
that'd be my best guess. It's kind of a strange request, and I think that he thinks that he can submit Mike Perry. That would be my best guess. So I don't know. It's
Jersey Mike.
Yeah, the name that we gave him.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, we like Mike Perry. Strange call out. Like I said, I don't know. Kevin Lee, how tall is Kevin Lee? That's what I'd like to know. I think he's about 5'10".
He just want to get in that win column, man. Mike will probably take that fight too.
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll see. Oh, okay.
That seems crazy.
Kevin Lee is 5'9". At 170, that's not a very big. That's not very big. You could think of GSP was 5'10", and he was always, usually shorter than his opponents, except for Matt Serra, who was like 5'1", or at least he looked like it.
True that.
But yeah,
that motherfucker was built like a brick shit house, though, man. Barrel chest.
Yeah, he was. But another thing of news today, and we'll get into the fights this weekend here in a few minutes. I just wanted to touch on some of these news clips. Another newsworthy thing I wanted to bring up to you is Jiri Prochazka wants to fight Jan Blachowicz next, but he really, what's wrong?
Too soon.
Too soon?
Yeah, man.
Well, I'll tell you this though. He really said he wants to fight John Jones because John Jones is the king of 205, and that is where he feels like he's going to have to beat John Jones if he's ever really going to be the king of 205, which, hey, I think it's too soon, too, for those bigger fights. But you got to have some balls to call out the GOAT, man.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But, like, don't think that you beat the Dom Reyes that fought John Jones. That's first and foremost. Like, don't start thinking, like, OD highly of yourself because you did that to this man. And if we being honest, Dom got his shit off in that fight too.
He did. Two things I wanted to also point out that he said in that interview. Number one, he said he did not like his performance, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he also said that Dom knocked him out at one point in the fight, and then he woke up and kept fighting.
So yeah, man. So he needs to pump his fucking brakes. After that honest assessment of yourself, you need to chill, man. Do one more. Do one more.
Right. The only thing about him, he's 29 right now. I mean, he's got plenty of time, but
Yeah.
every day he's getting better. So I wouldn't mind, like I said, put him in there. And we talked about this right at the fight. Put him in there with Alexander Rakic and make that a #1 contender fight. I think that's the perfect plan right now, because Glover's getting the title shot versus Jens, and nobody's getting a title fight anytime real soon. So you let those two fight, and those two fight, make it like, a 4-man tournament pretty much. Winner gets winner, loser gets loser, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Jiri versus Glover. If Glover wasn't fighting for the title next, I think that would be a hell of a fight. The other guy I think that Jiri could have a good fight with is Anthony Smith. And we've talked about it. He's pretty much the gatekeeper right now. If
you gotta go through Anthony.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be too bad. Tim asked from our last little part, what would you say Conor's #1 flaw is? Cardio? Yes, it's cardio, but it's not exactly cardio.
No. I mean, his wrestling defense is getting better, and he does have a good jiu-jitsu defense as well, but I still think that's the biggest hole in his game. 100%.
I can agree with that to a point. The only reason I'm saying that, I think it's got to do with cardio, but it's not exactly cardio. What it is I think that Conor goes out there, he usually starts just a tiny bit slow, and then he pours it on, and it's like an adrenaline dump, and after that, he's just not the same fighter. That's why after 2 rounds, we never see him really looking that good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really his cardio per se. I think that he could probably run a marathon if he wanted to. I think it's more of an adrenaline dump. I think that he puts what he's got out there, and after 2 rounds, it's like, oh fuck, now what do I do? I mean, we saw how he did pretty good at the beginning of the Floyd fight. He didn't do bad. He did good at the beginning of the first Nate Diaz fight. He did good at the beginning of the second Nate Diaz fight. And he did good at the beginning of this Dustin Poirier fight, the second one. But after about, 3-4 minutes into the first round, he started, Dustin started putting it on him. So that's what I think that his #1 flaw would be. I think his wrestling's getting better, but it'll always be a hole in his game, because you could tell for years all he did was work on striking.
Yeah.
And he never really thought about that, and which was pretty dumb, because he got submitted twice early in his career by guys that just haven't really panned out to be that good. But you'd think after that happened early in your career, you'd go ahead and, tighten that up, but he didn't. And that's always been a little bit of an issue. Even if he could just sprawl and brawl like Chuck, you always talk about, man. Yeah. You don't have to have a great ground game.
Oh,
just
man.
Keep yourself off the ground. Yeah. And
Jose Aldo got it like that. Well, he had it like that at one point in time.
Yeah, he still does too, to a
certain degree. Yeah.
But even in the fight with, I'm trying to remember who it was, but Chuck got taken down, and it was like, man, he scrambled up to his feet so quick. It was like Chuck did not want to be on the ground. I can't remember who it was. It was later in his career, but he, like I said, he got taken down, and he was up within 5 seconds. It was like the mat was on fire.
Yeah,
that's the way you got to be, man. Don't give these guys a chance. If you're deficient down there, get the hell away from it. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Yes, Tim, I don't think he can fix that. Call it an adrenaline dump, call it cardio, whatever it is. I don't think that Conor can fix that. No. Unfortunately for him, I don't think that that's something that he ever will fix. And it's weird, because you would think that his corner or whatever, his trainers would, understand that as an issue and really try to push it. But, it's still there. So obviously it's not something that they're really working on too diligently. And that's always going to be a problem. But yeah, so what else is in the news today? Anything else exciting?
What about Fabricio's decision getting overturned? Is that legit or what? Is it?
Yeah, man.
Was it facts though?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
That was everywhere. And finally the good guys got one right.
Absolutely.
I would say, or the bad guys got one right, and the good guys got one. However you want to describe it, but I was very happy to see that, man. That was really cool. because that was just bullshit. And we said it right here that should have been overturned. The only thing
Absolutely.
I don't like about it is that they overturned it to a no decision and not a win. They should have
Yeah.
made it a win,
Yeah, absolutely.
but a no decision is better than a loss. So we'll go ahead and put that out there for that. For him, like I said, it's better than it could have been. So this weekend there's an awesome UFC event coming up. Have you looked over the card, Nico?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and pull it up. We can talk about it a little bit. I got a feeling I'm going to do really good on this card, and we'll see. You better just stick with me on this one, Nico.
Yeah.
This is the undercard. I figured the two fights that we could touch on this are Andre Muniz versus Jacare Souza and Andrea KGB Lee versus Antonina Shevchenko. So Nico, what are your thoughts on the women's fight?
I'm gonna go with Antonina.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah.
So we're together on that one so far. Antonina has looked pretty good. Andrea KGB Lee is awesome, right?
Yeah.
But since being in the UFC, it's not her. She's very good, but she's a very good person for a company other than the UFC. In Invicta, she was killing everybody. I think if she went to Bellator, she'd be very, very successful. If she went back to Invicta, she would regain the title probably. But in the UFC, it's just a different ball game. And sometimes you're better to be the big fish in a small pond than the small fish in a big pond. And I think that's her deal.
Yep.
So I think Antonina will win by decision. And so I agree with you on that one. And as far as Jacare versus Andre Muniz, I think Muniz is going to get the win here, man. He's young. He's an up-and-coming dude. And it's kind of like Cowboy last week. They're just feeding Jacare to these young guys.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, what can they really do differently? You know what I mean? They basically eat their own, man. They built up Jacare for years. He got title shots, but now it's time for him to make the younger guys look good. So, unfortunately, I don't see Jacare winning that fight at all. I think Andre will win that fight, probably by knockout, but, we'll see. But on the main card, which is why we're all here.
Oh, let's get it.
That's right. We'll start with Matt Schnell versus Rogerio.
Now, these are the legit picks, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. These are the ones that we're really doing.
Right. I'm going with Matt Schnell on this one. Rogerio's been knocked out a few times lately. I think he's either knocked out or finished.
Yep.
And I think Matt Schnell is looking pretty good here. What do you think?
All right, we're together so far.
All right. Next fight, Shane Burgos versus Edson Barbosa.
All right, I'm going with Burgos.
I'm going with Burgos too. I love Edson Barbosa. I was going to say that. And the man is awesome. He's done some very cool stuff. He's in that one movie.
I just had to hop in there so people don't think I'm riding your coattails on this.
No, that's good, man. No, that's cool, man. We'll go back and forth. But I told you earlier before the show, and we didn't tell each other our picks, that I think our picks are going to be very, very similar. But like I said, Edson Barbosa is awesome. He's got that new movie out where he plays the bad guy. I can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty good. It's him and Patrick Flannery. Let me see. I'll look it up real quick and tell you what it's called. It's an MMA movie, and it was heavily endorsed by the Gracies. It's called Born a Champion, and Edson Barbosa did awesome in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He kind of played like a Tong Po kind of character, and he did real well. So I like Edson. I've always liked him. He's had some incredible, highlight reels and stuff like that, but I don't see him winning this fight. So moving on, we have Caitlin Chichugian versus Vivian Araujo. I don't even know how to say her last name.
Araujo.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and say it. She is the underdog, but I think Vivian is going to give Caitlin the business and win by decision.
Dang. Okay, we're still together.
We're still together, man. That's big. That's big. Co-main event. I already know we're gonna agree on this one. But go ahead.
Beneil Dariush.
Beneil Dariush, man. They really, really helped Dariush out this time because they've been only giving that guy killers. And now they gave him Tony, who just hasn't looked the same lately. And I think that that's big for Beneil. And I think that he will probably be ranked number 5 after this fight. So I think he'll go up and he'll win. And now for the main event, on the count of 3, we'll go ahead and say it so people don't think that we're just like going back and forth agreeing. 1, 2, 3. Michael Chandler. Boom.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. Yup. Bro, 7 fights and 7 agreements. So that's pretty rare. You guys go ahead and put some money on those 7 fights. And I'll go ahead and say I know we're right at least about 5 of them, probably more.
Yeah.
So and look, unlike other shows which I watch, we did not sit here and pick all the favorites. We picked Matt Schnell, who is a favorite. We picked Vivian, who's an underdog. We picked Shane Burgos, who's a favorite. We picked Beneil Dariush, who's a favorite. And we picked Michael Chandler, who's the underdog. And then on the prelims, let's see how we did on that one. I didn't even look who were the favorites and who were the underdogs in this. Andre Muniz is the underdog, just barely, but he is. And Antonina is the favorite. So, I mean, we picked 3 out of 7 underdogs. You know, that's not too bad.
Yep.
So I see a lot of these shows or a lot of these sports personalities, and they put out their picks, Nico, and I'm like, every single one is the favorite. And I'm like, wow, really? Those are your picks? Awesome, man. I could go on any sports site, even UFC.com, and say, okay, this guy's going to win, and pick every single favorite. I mean, you got no flavor doing that, man. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous. And I'm glad that we both agree on these fights, and we're not all, all in on.
And hey, man, I am going with Burgos, but do not sleep on Edson Barboza. He still got that flash KO power. It's still Edson though.
Yeah, he's still good. I mean, he could win. Don't get me wrong. And
if he catch him now. It's still Edson.
Oh, definitely.
We've seen him make many a men do the stanky leg out there.
For real. Hey, and Edson, I mean, at this point in his career, he isn't as great as he was back in the day. But I'll tell you what, Nico, that's one guy who's not suspect.
Nah,
never
man,
thought he was.
Ooh, no, man, I wouldn't even try that.
He's the real deal.
I wouldn't even play like that.
I feel you on that. These fights on the early prelims, nothing spectacular here, but also a lot of young people. So, we'll see how they do. I know Tucker Lutz is pretty good. And Cristo Giagos, I've heard of. I have no idea why, but I've definitely heard of him. So, we'll see how those fights play out, early in the night. But also, just remember, the early prelims and the prelims lately have been fantastic, man. They've been really good. Some of the best fights of the cards. So then this card is not one that it's like, oh my God, this is the greatest card ever, but it's not soft either. It's like probably one of the more consistent UFC events in recent memory. It's just a good lineup. And Nico, breaking news right now. I'm about to hit you with it. You ready?
Tell me.
Derek Brunson versus Darren Till on UFC Fight Night, August 14th.
Okay.
All right. So
best of luck to Darren Till. I don't think he gets the job done, but best of luck.
Really? Well, we won't be agreeing that night. I think that Darren Till will take that one, but we'll see, man. Brunson just showed what he could do to these heavy-duty strikers that don't have great wrestling defense.
That's right. That's all I'm basing it off of.
Yep.
And I've seen Darren Till freeze up one too many times now.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. You're right about that, man. Do you remember when Woodley gave Darren Till the business? I mean, He beat Darren Till's ass,
and that wasn't even Woodley.
Well, that was his last good fight.
Was it, or did Darren Till freeze up?
I mean, either way.
That's what I'm thinking about. It's like, because I know that wasn't Tyron.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, yeah,
he was on the tail end out there.
Right. Because I think either the next fight or 2 fights later is when he lost the belt and looked like, like he didn't even belong in there with Usman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you on that one.
But he gave that boy the business. He beat the brakes off that boy. And he was like, I've seen it before. I've been this guy before. So young, so like sure of yourself, so positive you're gonna get the job done. And he spanked that boy.
Yep, you're right. Nico, you ready for some more breaking news?
Y'all read. Call me Dr. Nick Diddy.
Yeah, Red, what's up, bro? The doc is in the house. Nico,
the doc is finally back in the house. Yo, how is Ben Askren's hip resurfacing?
Nah, he already came back and he ate his humble pie on that one already. But
oh my God, that's my guy.
Yeah, Yared's cool, man. Hey, 1 week later, UFC Fight Night, Paulo Costa is finally coming back and he's gonna fight Jared Cannonier.
I like Jared.
What's that?
I like Jared.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh man. I guess he said Ben's still sleeping.
With $1 million in the bank.
Yeah, with $1 million in the bank, that's true. I kind of like Paulo in that fight only because, well, we'll get into it as those get closer, but those are two breaking stories right now. You heard it here first. They just got signed. They're just announced. So that's most of the news. The other thing that was newsworthy to me is that Anderson Silva announced yesterday, I believe it was, that was his last MMA fight ever against Uriah Hall, and now he's just focusing on his boxing match coming up.
I knew it.
He said he's done with MMA. And you know what though, and we kind of talked about this last episode. At Anderson's age, with leg problems and stuff like that, it's probably better if he's just boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. His leg's never been the same since that whole Chris Weidman incident, just like Chris's won't, I don't believe. That boy Anderson heading to celebrity boxing. Hey, if he does, man, I hope somebody tries to step up and fight him that's a celebrity. That'd be kind of fun.
Get that paper, Anderson.
Yeah. Hey, Yared, talk to us a little bit in the chat about what you think of Chris Weidman's leg, and do you think he'll ever be able to recover after we saw Anderson never was able to come back and do a whole lot with that leg? Do you think Chris will ever be able to? Go ahead and give us your thoughts in the chat. I'd love to know your opinion on that one. But yeah, man. So there's a good amount of stuff going on in MMA the last few days. I know that, I don't know, I saw something about Stipe and John Jones wanting to fight each other. Have you seen anything about that?
You said Stipe and John Jones?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that.
I don't know what it was from, but I know that there's some kind of talk about it. And let's see. Okay, here we go. All right. So Dana White was on with Jim Donovan, and let's see what he said. I don't know. We'll see what's next. I think that he's fired up and he wants to fight again. But yeah, listen, we could do John and Stipe too. There you go. So
okay.
Derek Lewis, he said, is next for Ngannou, and John and Stipe too as a super fight. Hey, I'm down. I like that fight.
I would like that. I'll definitely tune in for that. That sounds big.
Oh man. Rumors are his circulation still not 100%, so he could lose his leg. Wow. Talking about Weidman. That's terrible, man. I hate to hear that.
For real? For real?
Yeah. Crazy. He had a wrist surgery with that same complication. And he said if the bone heals, it'll be 18 to 34 months. I mean, that's a long time, especially at his age. Oh, 18 to 24 months, he meant. Okay. But at his age, man, that's rough, man. You know?
To see it.
Yeah, every time anything about that comes on, I just look the other way or the picture, man. I hate to see his leg like that. And he's not one of my favorite fighters, but I hate to see anybody's leg like that. I mean, that's terrible. But there is something that I was wanting to announce tonight, and it's big. and we have an amazing guest booked for June. And I'm about to tell you guys.
It's Ken Shamrock.
Seriously, man. Seriously. Here we go.
Let's go.
It is, in fact, the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
World's most dangerous man.
He will be here in June. Let's see. It is June 16th, 9 p.m. Ken Shamrock will be in the building.
Let's go.
And we are very excited about that. I guess Nico was real excited, man. I had to cut me off and steal my thunder. But yeah, so that's the official announcement that Ken Shamrock will be in the building. Fawn is laughing and said, Nico, rude. Fawn, what am I gonna do? You know who his idol is. So
raise the savage.
Huh?
I said she raised the savage.
Yeah, you know her. Nico's idol is Michael Scott, so he's been known to do some stuff like that. I mean, that's like his spirit animal. So yeah, I'm keeping him in my prayers. Such a good dude. Yeah, I mean, definitely, man. Chris Weidman. It's horrible to see that stuff, and hopefully he does have a speedy recovery. So, but yeah, man, Ken Shamrock is going to be on the show. Pretty awesome stuff. MMA pioneer, pro wrestling star. I will say that there's been several crossover MMA people that went into pro wrestling and vice versa. And Ken, man, he's got to be up there in the top couple, man.
Come on, man.
He's got a great career.
Absolutely.
Only.
And if we're talking about pioneers or forefathers of this game that we love so fucking much,
yeah,
Ken's got to be up there, man. You better mention his name.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yep. So that's big for us, guys. We're very excited about that. And that will be an early start time that night. It'll be a special start time of 9 o'clock. But we'll be talking about that for the next month. So I'm sure you guys won't miss that one. But yeah, man. I mean, some of the things that Ken has done is just amazing. I mean, I know that when he came back to the UFC later on, he didn't have the greatest run when he did his second and third fight against Tito. But if you look at his stuff from Pride, if you look at his stuff from the early UFC fights, I mean, they are amazing. So, and like I said, he had a great professional wrestling career. Nico, I'm still not sold on Matt Riddle as being a great professional wrestler. I think he's all right. But I definitely think that Ken Shamrock and Ronda Rousey belong toward the top of the crossover.
100%. Fighters. 100%.
Yeah, Riddle's okay, but I mean, he's more of a comedy act than anything at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah. They took this stoner route a little too far with him. They went a little too hard to that.
Yeah. And speaking of pro wrestling, Nico, let's see. Yes, the first super camp. Yep, you're absolutely right. Lions Den. Yeah. Yep. I mean, he had some great people fight out of his camp. Guy Metzger was over there. Trey Telligman, Frank Shamrock.
Exactly.
I mean, he had some beasts. Guy Metzger was awesome, whipping all kinds of ass early in the UFC events. I mean, even Paige Van Zant started training with him. He was one of her first trainers. I mean, he's very, very influential in the sport that we all love. And people like to, crack on him and this and that because of his later career. But, man, that dude has been all over the world kicking all kinds of ass. And if you don't know, he's beaten Bas Rutten. Not a lot of people can say that. He beat Bas Rutten. It's on YouTube. Go check it out if you want to. So, but Nico, one thing I wanted to tell you, I watched some of Monday Night Raw from the other night.
All right.
And it was okay. They had, like I said, the Matt Riddle thing with Randy Orton and, this stuff and that stuff going on. But the person that every time I watch wrestling, anytime I watch WWE, let me rephrase that. There's one person that I'm so impressed with.
Who's that, bud?
And I think that she belongs in the top 5 women.
I love that you said she. Who is this? She
belongs in the top 5 of women of all time. And I may catch some shit for it, and I don't care. Because everything she does, I'll get to it. Everything she does, her mannerisms, how good she makes things look, how believable she is, the fact that she can make you laugh and she's not even like a comedy act. Asuka. Asuka is one of the best I've ever seen in my life. From a technical standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, she is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I wanted to throw that out there because I don't think that she gets enough credit. And I think that if Ronda ever does come back, I think her and Asuka could have a incredible feud.
Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, Asuka's amazing. Asuka is so good. That's kind of what Shinsuke should have been in the WWE. He should have had more of that kind of a career because he's really good too. But I think Asuka's on another level. I think the only woman really there that is on the same level as her is Charlotte. So it's kind of cool that they're, doing some stuff together. But, kind of, what is that? I hear music in my ears. Oh, there we go. Okay. I forgot to close the Dana White interview and some slow music started playing. I was like, man, are they messing with us here? But yeah, so like I said, I'm very impressed with Asuka. That kick the other night that she did to I don't even know her name. Shayna Baszler was awesome. And even when she came through the curtain and she's doing her whole, dance thing, and she stopped just for a second and did the muscles like Dana Brooke, it was hilarious, bro. Like you can't not laugh because she almost is mocking her own partners.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, I really like that. But I know that the Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash is this weekend.
Yep.
Do you have some predictions and some ideas about that?
Oh, for sure, man. We can start probably with we'll start from like main event. So we have Strowman and Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley are going to fight for the WWE Championship. Right. I think that they did the addition of Braun Strowman so Bobby can go over on him and you can kind of save face for Drew McIntyre. You don't put him out of the main event scene too soon. Yep. You can keep him in there and kind of save face for him. But I do think that Bobby Lashley goes over.
Right. Okay.
Then we got Cesaro and Roman Reigns. They'll fight for the Universal title.
Right. I think I lost you there for a second, Nico, but I do like this match. Only because Cesaro is good, but like I said last week, he's kind of damaged goods after so much comedy crap. But go ahead, I lost you when you were starting to talk about
that. I agree. Cesaro definitely lost too much steam with all the comedy crap and shit that they put him through. So I don't think that they'll allow him to go over on Roman, especially with the addition of Jimmy Uso now. So the stable has gotten larger for Roman, and it's just Cesaro. Now, it would be interesting to see if Edge returned since WrestleMania. Maybe he interferes on Cesaro's behalf, or, Daniel Bryan, because Roman just took him out with a chair shot like 2 weeks ago as well. So maybe one of them interfere on Cesaro's behalf, and I could see them eventually doing some 6-man tags between them, some shit that.
I could see the complete opposite too. The referee's down, and Cesaro's actually about to win the title.
Okay.
And Edge is like, hell no, I want the title from Roman.
Okay.
I can see that too.
Yep.
But go ahead, I'm listening, man. I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, I like that. That's a good twist as well.
Yeah. And as far as like you were saying about Braun Strowman, it's always good to have that third guy in there if you are going to do that.
Yes.
And playing the devil's advocate, if they were going to take the title from Bobby Lashley, you have Drew pin Braun also, so then Bobby Lashley has an out. Hey, you didn't beat me for the title.
Absolutely.
You pinned Braun. He wasn't the champion. This is bullshit. And then, you got a reason for rematches and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, exactly.
So, but go ahead.
SmackDown Women's Championship up for grabs. You got the EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair, taking on probably the best heel in the game right now in Bayley.
Right.
From Charlotte, of course, because Charlotte is just made to play the fucking villain, dude. But Bayley's gonna take on Bianca. I think that Bianca wins. She just got the title. I think she's riding a pretty big wave right now, so I don't think they'll take that belt off of her just yet.
Definitely.
they've been doing very good at building their female champions with their belts, man. Like I think Bailey had like a 380-day reign or a 308-day reign with the title, and just the types of reigns that they give these women is pretty damn good. Old school shit.
Yep, you're right
Then we
about
have
that.
another triple threat match, but for the Raw Women's title, it'll be Asuka, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley. And I think that that'll probably be a contender for fight of the night or match of the night.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like I was saying before, Charlotte was just born to play the heel. She's aligned herself with Sonya Deville now and kind of weaseled her way into this title picture. So I'm pretty sure she'll wind up going over on Asuka on that night.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Hey, the other night when Alexa Bliss came out and was watching the match and said she was watching somebody.
Yeah.
Who was she watching?
All right. So I think Alexa had alluded to Lily's favorite color being red, right? And then they had a segment one week where Lily was watching the dude, I forget his name, but he was giving somebody a rose, right? Roses are red. Mm-hmm. So she was back there for that. And then she was behind Sonya Deville, who was wearing a red outfit, right? In that match that was happening, Charlotte came out in red, so you would think that maybe she was watching Charlotte.
Okay.
But Mandy Rose is in the match. Right. So is she watching Mandy Rose? So it's just like, hey, man, I don't know what avenue they're taking it. There's a lot of different ways you can go, and you never really know with the mind of Bray Wyatt. So
yeah. What do you think of that guy? I can't even think of his name. The one that's managing the
sommelier. The sommelier. I can't remember his name right now. Nah, he is their sommelier, but
right.
Reginald.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he is very athletically gifted.
Right. He did that backflip the other night. That was pretty awesome.
So smooth, right? I've seen him do some pretty crazy shit, but it's just glimpses of it right now. So I'm wondering what they're really planning to do with the guy, because I know that he's talented. He has fucking tree trunk thighs, dude. So you know the dude's jumping ability is off the charts.
Okay. And basically, he's just a mouthpiece for those two right now because neither of them can cut a promo.
Yeah.
And I feel bad saying this, but a lot of people always say that Nia Jax talks like a man. So it's probably better that she doesn't talk.
This is true.
I'm not saying she does. She does have a very distinct voice.
Hey, man, China didn't talk too much. China didn't do too much talking.
Yep, you're right about that. So, but yeah,
I think the last match that we have is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and it's Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, the Dirty Dogs, taking on Dominic and Rey Mysterio. So I'm pretty sure Dominic and Rey will win. I'm sure the WWE is just chomping at the bit to have their first father-son tag team championship. Did Vincent Shane win? No, I don't think Vincent Shane ever won the tag team title. So it would probably be their first father-son act as tag champs, which would be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Let's see. I'm just looking it up just to make sure. Nope. There is. It says Rey Mysterio talks pressure to be first father-son WWE tag team champions. So
pretty epic, man.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. They did have Randy Orton tag with Bob Orton at one point just for a match. Vince and Shane obviously tagged up before, and I'm trying to think of who else I could think of that. I mean, I know the Armstrongs tagged with their dad, but that wasn't WWE. Fritz Von Erich and the Von Erichs did that, but that wasn't in the WWE either. Dusty and Dustin. I'm surprised they never had those guys become tag champs.
They definitely could have did that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's no father and son tag team champions.
Or Cowboy and Randy would have been tight.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been bad at all.
Could have got that off.
Let me tell you something, Nico. I had the best idea a couple years ago.
Oh, wait. They could have did Kurt Angle and Jordan.
They should.
Jason Jordan, man. Come on.
What about Vince and Hornswoggle?
Oh, my God. How could they fuck that up?
Yeah, that was terrible that they messed it up. Nico, I had this idea a few years ago, and I never really went out with it, but I did tell one of my friends. They missed the boat big time never signing Roddy Piper's son, Colt Toombs. The WWE did.
Who
They
is
never
it?
signed him. He's a pro wrestler. I
Okay.
mean, I think he's just doing indie stuff now or whatever. He's never like become real big time. I don't think he's a very big guy. He's also had a professional MMA fighter too. Um, but in my opinion, it would have been so smart for the WWE to sign him and have him be Randy Orton's lackey, just like Bob Orton was Roddy Piper's lackey, almost
Mhm.
like the role reversal. I
Yeah.
think that
Okay.
there's so much they could have done, you know what I mean, with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even if they don't do it like because Bob Orton was his bodyguard, they could just have, they could have had Colt as like just a newbie and
Yeah.
like having to pay
Carrying
his
his
dues.
bags.
Yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely.
dirty work, taking
Shine
the
the
beating.
boots. Yeah. Shine the
Yeah.
boots. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always thought that was a good idea. I'll tell a story sometime, not right now, but I will tell a story that I almost had a pretty big deal in pro wrestling. I almost had it signed, man. And I'm not saying that I would have necessarily been in a big company, but I almost had a big deal signed a couple years ago, and shit kind of fell through. I'll tell that story some other time, probably when Chili Willy's on the air with us, because nobody really knows it. Only person who knew it was my good friend Shane Martin, rest in peace, because he was involved in what I was trying to accomplish, and it got real close. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and my buddy Shane passed away last year around Thanksgiving. But I will tell that story publicly sometime. But it's a pretty cool story, man. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, but it was still still a pretty cool thing. But anyway, back to Randy Orton. Him and Matt Riddle are not tagging this weekend.
I don't think so. Not
Okay.
yet. Not
All
for
right.
the titles just yet.
Right. Okay. I know that. Oh, and New Day is not on the card, or Big E.
I don't think so. I don't think
Man,
so.
it's a lost opportunity. You
Maybe,
know.
maybe they are, but those are the matches that I know of.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. I'm just gonna look up WrestleMania Backlash and just see if anything's been added. But man, that's the problem with having the two brands and just having so many guys. Is
Yeah,
that
it's not room for everybody to eat. You don't. How do you
right?
not put AJ Styles and Almost on it? They just won the tag team titles for
Yep.
Raw, so it's like
The only match that I see on here that you didn't mention is Damian Priest versus The Miz in a
okay.
lumberjack
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
So Nick Lee. Reigns squashes Cesaro. Nick, what's up, bro? You should be on here talking with us, man. What are you doing? You're supposed to be here, man. Our wrestling historian. But Nick, we were just saying, man, that Edge may come back and have something to do with that match. So we'll see about that. I hope he doesn't just squash Cesaro, or that'd be pretty messed up, but it's definitely possible. So I had said something about it last week, Nico, about Brock coming back and Paul Heyman, going with Brock. You know how that would really work well is if there was a tag team involved too. If, let's just say, for instance, you take Shelton Benjamin and somebody else who's a good amateur wrestler and put them as a tag team with Brock, with Paul Heyman, and then you have the Usos and Roman as the faces at that point, and Brock and Shelton Benjamin and somebody else, as the heels with Paul Heyman. I think that's eventually what will happen, is that Brock will come back and take Paul Heyman, back over. It'd be kind of funny. It'd be kind of funny if like Brock just like came back and Paul Heyman's like, no, I'm with Roman now, and he puts his hand on his shoulders like, I mean, I've been waiting for you to come back though. Screw Roman. That's that's the way.
I want to see Paul make Roman and Brock sit down and for them to be stable. Like that's what I want to see.
That'd be pretty funny.
It would be fucking epic.
And then Brock breaks the table.
I don't know. Of course they would have a falling out, but just to see them both right shop for a little bit would be so fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
What would you do?
I mean, that'd be pretty nuts, man.
It would be absolutely insane.
Have them be almost like the Mega Powers, just kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah,
and
man.
then they
But
explode.
heels,
Yep. Hey man,
we're here
Roman.
to take over. We're here to take over both companies. How about
Yeah,
that? And then you send one to go get the Universal one to get the heavyweight title,
yeah,
and you
you're
just
right
see
about
them on every single episode every week. The two of these fuckers. Oh my
that.
god, people would be so sick of that.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be pretty awesome too, though. One one thing I was gonna say is that he has done such a good job reinventing himself, Roman Reigns. I can't
Oh,
give him enough credit, man.
oh yes, man.
Because
Now
before
with
he
the
went
switch
out,
up,
what's that?
now with the switch up of his entrance music too, it's just
Yeah. Because before he left, everybody was starting to boo him and hated him, even though he was the face. They were starting to John Cena him, and he just completely reinvented himself. And I think that that was a masterful plan, and he's done it to a T. So I credit to Roman Reigns. But speaking of wrestling, Nico, have you been watching? Well, it just started back up. The Dark Side of the Ring. Have you ever seen any of those?
I saw them. Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I haven't seen the newest ones yet, though.
The new season started, and actually they're on Vice, but they're on YouTube also. The first two episodes. It's a two-part episode about Brian Pillman.
Okay.
And man, it's just so sad, man, because you know where it's leading, you know what happened, you know the story, you don't know all the details, you see the details, but we know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And it's heartbreaking, man. But what a just creative and just awesome wrestler Brian Pillman was, man. So athletic and just really good.
Brian.
Brian. One of the coolest things he ever did was when Bill Watts took over WCW, and this isn't in the Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah, I've heard this from other places, but basically Bill Watts came in and was trying to cut costs, and he told Pillman, he's like, "I need you to take a pay cut," and Pillman said, "No, I'm making, let's say, 300,000 a year. I'm just throwing out a number," and this is back in like '92 or '91, and Bill Watts was trying to pressure him to take a pay cut, and he's like, "No," and he's like, "Well, then I'm just going to have you be a jobber." And Brian Pillman said, "Okay, I'll be the best paid jobber of all time." And kept making his money, man. And Bill Watts didn't last long, and Pillman kept his contract and kept making his money. I think that's pretty damn cool, man.
Oh yeah.
You know,
you got
to stick to your guns sometimes. So, but speaking of sad stuff, Nico, A&E has been doing these biographies.
Yeah, this is what I was telling you about a few weeks back.
Have you watched some of them?
I was waiting for them all to finish up so I could binge them straight through.
Okay. Well, I've watched two of them, the Macho Man and Roddy Piper, and
Macho Man was heart-wrenching, huh?
Both of those, man.
They both are?
Yeah. Savage's, I don't know, man. With Randy Savage being my favorite wrestler of all time, I think he's probably number one. Just some of the stuff that they did show. I know a lot of fans are upset about it, and they said that, WWE painted him in a bad light. I don't think that they did, only because they were being truthful. And not everybody who's a good wrestler or a good dude or whatever always does good things. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's bad in all of us. And he had some issues. He had a little bit of a steroid issue. That was one of his problems. And the other problem was when it came to women, he was just very, very possessive. And he just did some stuff that, you shouldn't do. But overall, I still love the Macho Man, even though, not everything in it was the greatest and nicest stuff about him. Yep. But I feel like at least they're keeping it real about different things, And then the Roddy Piper one was definitely not, like you said, as heart-wrenching, but it's sad because you know how it's going to end. Yeah. But I did like it that at the end of that one, they do this deal where a bunch of like famous wrestlers impersonate Roddy Piper, because everybody always impersonates Hogan and the Macho Man. Nobody impersonates Piper because it's hard to do, really. Yeah. But they have like the guys saying like, just when you think you know the answer, I changed the question.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool, like I said, and it's kind of sad, but we'll talk more about it when you do watch those. There's actually a Booker T one right now also, and Stone Cold, and I think Shawn Michaels is the next one that they're going to put out, and I think that might be it. I think there's 5.
Perfect.
So yeah,
Perfect.
but also, have you gotten to watch any of WWE's Most Wanted Treasures?
Nah, what's
No,
that?
man, that is the show to watch, bro. It's on A&E also. Okay,
Okay.
so basically, they got this guy. I don't know his name. He's kind of a heavier black dude. He's like the lead guy.
Viscera.
No.
Mabel.
Nah, but Viscera was awesome. But no, this dude is the main guy, and he works for the WWE, trying to find some famous props, basically, that the company has lost over the years. And the first episode, I believe, was it was Mick Foley, maybe. The first episode was Mick Foley. And so this guy and Mick Foley start doing research to try to find out where Mick Foley's flannel shirt is, so they could go there and buy it back or trade something else from WWE to the guy so they can have the shirt back.
Okay.
And so basically they're making some kind of a museum, the WWE is, and this is how they're getting their stuff back, is by going around the country and buying it from fans that have like these famous props. So Mick went and he found his shirt from Mankind, and the brown one that he first used, and also his flannel. Another episode is The Undertaker and Kane. They're looking for Kane's masks because some of the ring used masks that are important. See, like some of these guys, I don't know how things happen, but somebody might give somebody a gift, and then that person sold it. So some of this stuff, is far down the line, and they've got to, they're sitting there trying to find it. Another episode I saw was Jerry the King Lawler, and they're out there trying to find different things that belong to Jerry Lawler, which is cool because Jerry Lawler pretty much had all of his stuff, except for like just a shirt they ended up finding or whatever. But the main thing is they were trying to find Andy Kaufman's neck brace from when Jerry Lawler supposedly broke his neck.
Yeah.
And they are trying to track that down. And it's cool, man. I mean, it's real awesome.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
Yeah, and then another episode is Booker T. And part of Booker T's thing was he wanted to find the JYD's collar, the Junkyard Dog's collar from back in the day.
Okay.
So they start like trying to like track that down, and it's cool, man. Like I said, they travel the country. It's kind of bullshit at some points because they call Triple H and they're like, "Hey, Triple H, this dude wants $10,000 for this." He's like, all right, it's more than I wanted to pay, but okay, yeah, right, man.
Yeah.
Billions, and you're gonna like gripe about 10,000. That's the only part I don't like. But Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are in the episodes, and then this one guy who's like the curator of WWE stuff, and it's cool because they like have like these guys that almost like on Pawn Stars, they like look at the stuff to make sure it's the actual legit stuff and not just from a different time or fake or anything like that. So it's pretty cool, man. You should check that out. Like I said, it's called WWE's Most Wanted Treasures.
Oh, for sure.
And it's pretty awesome, man. But yeah, man, what have you been into? What have you been watching? Anything important? Anything good?
Nothing too important, man. Just keeping up on wrestling, man. That's really all I do recently. Or actually, you know what? I watched this thing. It's called The Circle on Netflix. That's what I've been watching recently. I'm really into that. Yeah.
What is that?
Circle. So it's like a bunch of strangers enter apartment complex, and they all stay in different rooms, and they play for top ranking spots in social media versus one another, and they have to vote on who's the top and who's the bottom, and then the top 2 influencers in the circle choose who gets eliminated. So it's all just like a politics game, and you can be a catfish or you can play as yourself, right? So it's like catfish just go on there and played as like Lance Bass from NSYNC, and like it's crazy. It's crazy. I love the show, though. Yeah.
Is it so? It's a show, and it's is it reality TV?
Reality TV, yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check that out, man. That sounds really interesting.
And then I just finished up Temptation Island.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is? I'm trying to remember. I know
Temptation
what that is.
Island was on USA Network, and it's like a bunch of couples go to an island, and then they split up into different villas, and they're surrounded by like 14 members of the opposite sex who are supposed to be your temptation. That show is fucking off the rock. Like, who would ever put themselves in this position with their significant other? Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, and then like
who comes up with this stuff?
Right? And then the singles, like, what they saunter out on stage like a fucking runway, and they'll point you out and be like, "Oh, you're gonna be seeing me at the campfire, hugged up with your man." Like, what the hell?
Oh,
like, just calling these girls out to their faces, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude, it's ratchet. It's a ratchet ass show.
But sounds like there could be some fights or something, like, for real fights on there.
Yeah. Nah, man, because you can't do anything. You're in a different villa. You can't even get to this broad. You just have to watch her on an iPad. With your man.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty wild, man.
Yes, dude. Yeah, it's such a screwed up dynamic. I don't understand how anybody in their right mind is like, yeah, babe, let's go do this. Let's go see how strong our relationship really is. No,
yeah, for real.
Smoking. Are you crazy?
Good. They must get paid real well.
Hell yeah.
That's a horrible idea. But it sounds pretty cool. Sounds all right, man. So, Nico, I just wanted to go over a couple things real quick, before we definitely before the end of the show, just some upcoming UFC cards and just the main events from those fights. After this weekend, let's see, this one is May 22nd. So, yeah, the following weekend is the Rob Font versus Cody Garbrandt fight.
Okay.
So that's the main event of Fight Night. And I do not know how to say her name. I think it's Zian is fighting Carla Esparza. She's the other Chinese UFC fighter, I believe. Yeah. So that's, those are two pretty good fights on that card. And and like I was saying the other day, Jack Hermanson is fighting Edmund Shabazian. So those are some pretty good fights all in one night.
Tinking on this.
Yeah, I know. I'm throwing it out there. So you got
Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt, man. I like that.
Yeah, I like all three of those fights. Yeah, and then let's see. Although it's not announced yet, June 5th is looking like it's going to be Rosenstruck versus Augusto Sakai.
All right.
And also, let's see. Yeah, Sakai, and then also there's some okay fights on there. Marcin Tybura versus Walt Harris. So they put a couple of heavyweight fights on there, like they've been, like they do sometimes. Let's see. Oh yeah, and Ilir Latifi versus Tanner Boser. And yeah, so it looks like there's about four heavyweight fights on that card. No big fights on that card. But it's decent. It's just a fight night, so not that big of a deal. And then after that is UFC 263. Like we talked about the other day, the main event is Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. Co-main is Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, which is some bullshit because they had one of the greatest fights, back in, I think it was December. And for them to play as a co-main event just sucks. I would have put those two on the next ABC card as the main event. Because of how exciting their first fight is, they're gonna have a brawl again, and that would have really put some eyes on the UFC.
Absolutely.
But also that night, Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz and Bilal Muhammad versus Damian Maia. So that is June 12th. Then June, let's see, which one was this? June 19th, the Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige. And Matt Brown versus Diego Lima, a couple other decent fights. Marlon Vera versus Davey Grant. I mean, so that card is okay. Nothing spectacular there either. But Nico, I didn't even know this fight was announced or definitely signed. But did you know Cyril Gane is fighting Alexander Volkov?
Nope. I
Yep,
did not. I like that though.
Yeah, I do too. June 26th.
Okay.
And so that's kind of cool. And then after that, you got the next week, or actually 2 weeks later, July 10th, is McGregor versus Poirier 2, Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson, Jessica Ai versus Jennifer Maia, Ty, your boy, Ty Tavasa versus Greg Hardy.
The
That should be interesting.
The
Yeah, the Shoey. Yep. And Sean O'Malley versus Louis Smolka, which, hey, that's a fight, man. That's a good fight right there. I like
Tuivasa and Hardy is a fucking fight. That's gonna be very interesting, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock with Ty on that night.
Yeah, man. I hope he whips his ass and then does a shoey. That'd be amazing. Then the next week, July 17th, I don't even know what the main event is going to be yet, but that's Marion Renault versus the returning Misha Tate. And there's a couple other decent fights on that card. Nothing amazing. But that's the next several cards that bring us up, to the end of July, really. So there's some good fights coming up, man. Wait a minute. Why is that? Oh, that's right. Macy Barber's fighting Miranda Maverick in July. That'll be pretty cool. That'll be a good little scrap. So anyway, Nico, anything else you wanted to cover tonight?
No, we did. We covered Fabricio. That was really the only thing on my mind that I wanted to bring up tonight.
Yeah, for real.
I'm just really, really happy that got overturned in some way. So.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man. I did I did want to give a shout out because we are getting some major love on a certain page, and it's called Fanaticos UFC Español.
Wait, what?
It's a Spanish MMA page.
No
and
way.
I post our show on there every week. There's 83,000 members, and man, we have been getting a lot of love on there, man. A lot of likes, comments, all kinds of stuff. It's very funny, man.
Can we even understand these comments? Are they coming through in English or are they in Spanish?
In Spanish. I got to translate them though.
Wait, what in the world?
Yeah, I could tell you this one from our last show. This was the main comment. I'll read it to you. And I'm not even sure who he's talking about. You might remember better because I don't remember the last show that much, only because I was drinking some beers and different stuff like that. But let's see. I am personally very sorry that they took him out of the UFC. He was one of those who gave a good show because he fought without fear of losing the fight. He did not care if there was blood. Maybe Diego Sanchez. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so. So that was what one of the people put, and I don't know. It's just interesting that we're a show filmed in English, and I put it on the Espanol MMA page, and we are getting some love. So hey, shout out to those guys. Keep it up, please, man. We love you guys. Just subscribe and share us, and just keep it going, man, because we're having a good time, and we love doing this show every week, and we appreciate the interactions. So definitely keep that up. And yeah. So if Nico doesn't have anything else to talk about, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this up. I will see you guys on Sunday when me and Nico can announce that we went 7-0 at UFC 262. I'm telling you now, anybody who bets, just go ahead and put some money on what we said, man. I bet you
cash at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
cash at me.
Fight gods.
Throw a little tip my way.
Hell yeah. So anyway, for Nico, we are the Fight Gods, and we will see you guys on Sunday night at 9:30. Have a good night.
Peace.